Afternoon, Andy, and welcome to Business Spotlight series. Andy is a co-founder of Blackrock Construction Group, a young company, 2 years old, independent construction and project management contractor working with clients across the commercial and residential sectors. So, Andy, would you like to tell us a little bit more about what you do and how you got into this business?
Yes, we started in business 2 years ago. Prior to that, I was fully employed with a larger builder, and I decided that I wanted to work for myself. I'd worked for others for all these years. We got together with the Indians from probably a commercial background. I'm from an operations background. We decided to join up and make up the business. Not long after we were started, we had an online presence on LinkedIn. And we were contacted from a company down in Leeds. We're based in London. We want a project carried out in Leeds, which was new to us. It was some student refurbishment. We were thinking, we've never done this before, but we know construction, we can do it. Let's go and look at it. And we met the company within a week. They says, we want you to start in a week. We're desperate for people to start. And that's really for us where it took off. We were down there it went from a 6-week project. We ended up doing everything for them. It started small, it grew large. So it went from 6 weeks to 14 weeks. And after that, we thought, we took a lot of guys from Scotland down to Leeds and we carried out the project for them. Probably about 14 or 15 operatives we took down. Everyone enjoyed doing that sort of work. And we thought, we enjoyed it, they enjoyed it, all the operatives that work with us enjoyed it. Why don't we try and get more of that? And from there on, we started advertising. This is what we do. And we ended up having contacts through LinkedIn, from England and Scotland and Ireland, and we ended up with 2 or 3 projects, one in Glasgow and one in Edinburgh, which we carried out last year, which we've got repeat business from. But the downfall of the leisure industry or the refurbishment of the student industry is it's only over a semester when the students are off on holiday. It's a short period. So we had to think, what are we going to do after that? Because that's probably 12 to 14 weeks of the year. So we do a bit of everything. We do some residential house building. We do some small residential, probably extensions, large bespoke extensions, which we enjoy doing, our guys doing. And we've got the professional guys that like doing that sort of stuff. So we do a bit of that. We've now really, we probably took a dip, probably about January of this year. In fact, it was in December, and we thought, how are we going to get the company back in that different direction? Because we know we've got all this work in the summer, which is coming up this summer again, and it's all going to be at once. We're going to be on 2 or 3 projects at the same time, which we can manage, and we could probably manage more of them. We've decided we're doing some what we call refurbishments, actually through the council or the council company. We're doing that, and that's a steady income stream. A bit different, not as high end as what we're used to doing, but it will last throughout the year, as well as that. It's topped up, hopefully, with the more student accommodation we're going to be doing, and hotel accommodation, which we're doing as well. And that's what we enjoy doing. It's a bit bespoke, it's a bit different. It's quite interesting. It's not the same thing all the time, and we're doing different projects all the time. So that's we kind of fell into it to start with, and then we've kind of evolved from there. And really, probably for a year, we said, what direction? We tried to go probably too many directions to start with. We'll do this, we'll do that. And we thought, let's do what we're good at and do what we enjoy, and we'll try and get down that road. And that's what we're trying to do just now. And we believe we've got good feedback from all our clients. We've got repeat business. They've recommended this to others, and we've even got a business from a company in Holland that's contacted us. So they've got a job project in Glasgow which they're doing. So it's all good. It's all good so far.
Excellent. That sounds very, very, very good, Andy.
Well, I
What?
just want to add, I want to add something to that though. The name Blackrock came from we were brought up in a mining community, and when we started, we thought, what are we going to call the company? My business partner, he stays in the old pit house, and my dad was a miner, so and that's where the name Blackrock came from. It's a bit corny, no, but we liked it, and it's
Yeah,
got a story behind it.
yeah, it's
So
good. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
that's where that came from.
Brilliant. Thanks for sharing that, the origin of the name. What is, Andy, what is your biggest learning since you've been a business owner?
Oh, I suppose there've been a few, but not to panic. I would, when starting a new business, you may have, depend where you came from. I came from a salaried position every month. Money landed in your bank, you done your job, you didn't need to think too much more about doing anything else. And when that stops and when you start a new business, you can panic slightly. And I think recently I've gave people advice that I've asked and saying, you know what, you might not be busy all the time. You might be busy developing the business, but that it will come to something. And I think don't panic. And whatever you do it well because you'll get repeat business from that. You know, don't cut corners. Do whatever you do and do it really well. Give the best service and hopefully stand out from the crowd. And that's what we're trying to do. Be better. You know, we're very easy to deal with. We're not very contractual. You know, and I think that when people see we're selling ourselves. People sell themselves, and you know, I think that was the advice: do whatever you're doing, but do it well.
Very good. Excellent. Um, and what are your aspirations, Andy, for your company in the next 5 years?
Yeah, very interesting question because we've had a lot of chat about that. And if I could show you the board, we've got a board up on the wall where we think we're going to be and what we want to do. When we started, we managed everything ourselves and still do manage a lot ourselves. And recently, we've started training the employees that we've got with us to manage. And we hope that they can help us grow the business and take more projects on because these guys are quality and we want them to pass that on when they're on site. So we're giving them the tools to do that. We're sending them the training that's required to do that so they can go on site and do that. And hopefully we can grow the business with them. I suppose from our point of view, we don't want to be massive. We don't want to. We're not. I don't think we'll ever be massive. We want to be big enough that it's manageable. I think the aspiration is keep doing what we're doing, get it probably double the size probably we've got now financially, but we'll probably never be massive and still offer the good service and hopefully don't we don't to ensure that we don't lose that. I suppose that's our aspirations.
What team? How many people do you have in the team at the moment?
We've got our team kind of works and it changes throughout the year. We've got quite a number of contractors that we use
Okay.
as well as direct sort of employees. So we've got 7 direct employees, which we keep through all the time. And throughout the year, that number could probably get up to 30 or 40 contractors that we use. And each one of them we've used time and time again because
Okay.
we know that the quality they can bring.
Okay, so you have
We've tried,
a core team of 7 plus then contractors that you will
yeah,
bring in and out as and when, yeah?
we've recently we've recently taken the decision to bring somebody in to help us carry out the admin in the office and look at do our accounts in the office. I think we were getting bogged down, really bogged down with which the day-to-day running of just a business, invoicing, paying invoices, ordering material, paying wages, and there's quite a lot of that goes on all the
Yes.
time. So we're actually we're starting an admin assistant that's going to be based in office. Well, it's going to be 4.5 days a week for us, which is great. And it's a big decision for us to do that, but I think it's going to help us grow. It's going to free our time up for us to concentrate on developing the business.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I love the mantra that saving you a wage is costing you a fortune.
Yeah.
You know, the minimum wage or the low wages that you want to do yourself to save you the money, the time you invest in it is costing you a fortune.
Definitely. If you take it, I was on holiday probably about 3 weeks ago, and I never moved off this desk for 2 weeks. And I think that in itself is costing the business, because we're not out there. Our business really works at the coal face. We need to be out and about more. And that was one of the major decisions in doing that, as well as we know we're going to be really busy this year, within the next coming months. So that's their thoughts. It's a long-term decision. It's not short-term. Hopefully that's just the start of what we're looking to do.
Yes. So Andy, what have been the biggest issues you've had to overcome in your 2-year journey?
The biggest, I suppose, there's been a few different issues that we probably came about when we started. For a new business, cash flow is an issue for us. When you're going to work for some of the bigger companies, the payment period that they want to pay in, it could be 45 days after invoice. And I think we've had to sort of build up slowly because we couldn't afford to do that. There were probably projects that we could have had, and we weren't willing to take 45 days. And some of these 45 days after the end of the month, you were going to get paid. So you were going to get paid in 70 days. That's one of them. The other one is a bit what we just spoke about, is developing the business. We were too busy working in the business and not on the business. So when we get really busy, we were working, we were becoming we became the managers. We were managing the developments of projects. We were there. We were loving that. It was great. But on the other end of that, nobody was pulling in work or meeting new clients to bring in work to us. And I think that was a failure early. And we recognised that probably after the first project, and we thought, what we do next? You know, so for us, that was a big mistake to start with. I think development can get left behind, and you need to be thinking about it all the time.
Yeah. As we discussed before, you know, this book is for anybody watching this recording, The E-Myth by Michael Gerber. Great book on to have the mindset of working on the business, not just in the business, particularly when you start a business. We get drawn down into
He's very good. He's got two or three videos on YouTube that you can actually watch. And it's very simple, the things he talks about, but it's a moment you think he knows exactly what he's talking about. Yeah.
Yes.
We've watched that a few times.
Yeah, definitely. So Andy, what are the challenges you see coming up to you in the future in the business?
I think the challenge, the challenge, I suppose, for us is bringing new people into the business. I think that's always going to be a challenge. I think it's a challenge getting the right people that actually, with their values, not everybody's got the value, but our values are, and I've got the same get up and go as us. And I think that's going to be a challenge for us. If we want to grow the business, that's got to happen. As I said earlier. Sorry?
That is across many industries. People are finding difficult to recruit talent and retain talent.
Yeah, I think that was one of the reasons why we've decided our own employees, we're going to train them up, and that'll get us so far. But then I think you'll probably be looking, for us, it'll be project managers and things like that, to bring in somebody possibly a higher level that can take us a bit further. And I think the challenge is getting the right people on board. I think that'll be one of the challenges
Yes. I love the four rights, getting the right number of people in the right place, doing the right thing, and doing it rightly.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
So correct.
I
think that's...
What's do you have a role model in life?
Yeah, I think that's an interesting question. That's apart from my dad, who's always your role model.
Same here, same here.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I think, and this might sound a bit corny, I always remember when I was a lot younger, Richard Branson and the things that he did. He enjoyed life. You know, he's got all these businesses, but what he looked as if he was always enjoying it. And I don't know if he's a role model, but it's somebody you look at and say, look at the business I've got. And I know he's made lots of money, but you can put that aside. He's still, when he was starting his business, he was still enjoying himself. And I think I take a bit out of that. You know, you've got to enjoy. I know you've got your business, and you've got to enjoy your business. You've got to enjoy your life as well.
Correct.
I think, let's say maybe a bit corny, but that's what I think about when you. It's maybe not so much a role model because you're not seeing somebody every day. I've met lots of managers and directors over the years, and you probably take a bit out of each when you meet people and the kind of things people say, and you remember things. Yeah, so I take a bit from everybody.
Yeah.
And I always listen. We're always learning, even with even the way the companies we're sort of working with now. Well, we get to meet their managing directors. They're massive companies, and I'm always asking questions about how to do things. How's the best? How do you grow your business? How did you get that? It's a bit of, I wouldn't say interrogation, but asking a lot of questions. And
Yes.
these guys, a lot of them are really nice to work with, and that they give you time, you know. So I'm always asking questions because
It's a
lots
great,
to learn.
yeah, it's there is an author, Alan Pease. He wrote a book called "Questions Are the Answers." You have to ask the right question.
You
Brilliant.
know,
Yeah.
it's really odd. It's not odd. We do it everywhere we go because we meet people that's been in business for lots of years and running big businesses, and I think you can learn a lot from them and a lot of
Definitely.
pitfalls. And there's some of the things that are said to us. You've taken them on board. Don't get too big. Don't get too big too fast. Don't take too much on. You know, don't take more than you can actually do. You end up being a bad contractor before you know it. And financially, don't take too much on things like that. Lots of people tell you lots of different things. It's really good to listen to. It takes a long time to build these businesses up as well.
It
It's
does.
not
It does.
not done over a short period.
Yeah, I think getting rich fast, if you like, is immaturity. It's a sign of immaturity.
Don't think it ever exists. Not for us.
What's that?
That'll never exist for us. Getting rich
Yeah.
quick.
Yeah.
Just work hard and
It
enjoy
takes
it.
time to create wealth. Takes time. That's it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Brilliant. So, what's if you started your business? So let me. What advice would you give to your 18-year-old self?
What advice would I give to my 18-year-old self? You know, I really enjoyed my when I was 18. When I can turn back, when I turned back the clock. Um, when I left school, I suppose I left school when I was 16, and I suppose I studied, but not very well, and probably I could have stuck in a bit more and done a bit more at school, and probably get better qualifications, and probably got where I was a lot quicker. And I see people doing it now, as in graduates coming out, and they're going to a high, kind of decent level of job very quickly. Where it may have took me a bit of time to do that. But I came from a trade background. I left school where we would get brought up in the mining community. You were maybe going down the mines. I think the mines were nearly they were getting shut down when I was leaving school. Who knows? I might have ended up in the mine and end up in the building trade because I knew someone in the building trade. I probably have more aspirations and it's very difficult when you're that age to know what you want to do. I'd probably tell myself what I want to do and make the choices that go in that direction sooner.
Yes.
And possibly what else would tell myself, and I tell my 18-year-old daughter, why don't you start a business? I know it's not, I've worked for someone all my life. I'm now in a business. I'm really enjoying it. It's got a lot of pitfalls as well, but I think maybe start a business, maybe do something different when I was younger. But I think it's worked out for us in the end. Hopefully, I think we've done all right.
Brilliant. Just to wrap up, is there anything you would like to share here for those watching the video? Any events or offers you may want to share for people out there?
Events. What we tend to do, and it's a good question, events, what we've done recently, we've done that a few times now, and probably we've invited contractors, and we do it probably twice a year, and we're trying to build our database of good contractors. As we bring them in, we go in and have a look at their work, and they can go in our sort of database. And I suppose for the people watching this, what they get is people are tried and tested that have came and worked for us. We don't start anyone off the street. I think we've got everybody tried and tested. If we're working for you, the contractors we've got are tried and tested. They do a very good job. And they care. All the guys we're all quite like-minded. We care about people. It's not just about money. It's not about price. It's not about costs. If we're doing a project, that's part of it, but they're a bigger part of the other side, that we actually care what we're doing. I suppose I could say that. Anybody employs us, that's what we get.
Excellent. Well, Andy, thanks it's been a pleasure to have you joined us today at Spotlight, Business Spotlight, and for sharing your experience and wisdom with such candor with us today. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you, Javier.